Welcome to the I Love Snow Real Talk, your daily FIS Olympic debrief. My name is Melina. I am the former coach of Anagasa, who's actually competing tomorrow in snowboard slopestyle finals. And I'm your host of today's show. And I'm really excited that we have two very special guests, two amazing Olympic athletes at the show tonight. And our first guest is Alex Lutzy's Canadian ski jumping prodigy who is unfortunately sidelined at the moment, from what I've heard. But I'm thank you for joining us. Where are you joining us from?
Thank you for having me. I got back from Italy last night, so I'm back in Slovenia, my main training base. And, it's kind of a big ski jumping hub in Europe, but quite close to everything still. So made it back here.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you for joining us. But let's dive into yesterday's event. I mean, that was a pretty intense event, the super team.
Yeah.
And maybe you can explain to us the format a little bit because I'm pretty sure that people are watching who might have never seen an event before. So maybe you can briefly explain the format to us.
The super team is actually quite a new event. It's only a couple years old, and it's not structured like your normal team event. It takes the same idea, except it cuts the group in half. So instead of having 4 athletes representing one nation, you have 2 athletes representing one nation. And so in ski jumping, you get a score for distance, judges, wind, what gate you go from, and all these are added up to give you your score for your jump. In a super team, each athlete takes 3 jumps instead of our normal 2 jumps, and these 3 jumps from each athlete are combined into a total of 6 jumps to give the highest score. So they're trying to have the best style, best landings, all of those things to give them the highest score. And at the end of the day, the best team wins. But yesterday was a little bit special because the conditions in Predazzo can be a little bit unpredictable, and the weather, in an outdoor sport, like any outdoor sport, can be a little bit of a challenge. And so they canceled the final round. So they only took 2 out of their 3 jumps, and at the end of the day, the Austrians were left at the top of the podium, which was a very big deal. It was the first medal for Austria in the ski jumping, and it came down to the final event. I mean, in my opinion, this was quite an exciting podium, and the fight for the podium was incredible. Like, it was unbelievable how tight it was between fifth and third. These 3 teams were battling it out every jump. The score was changing and the order was changing, and it was it was really intense.
Yeah, I can imagine. And I mean, it was the first medal for Austria in like in Predazzo. So I guess that's a happy end for them because I feel like they. Do you think they could have gotten more medals or?
I think that it's something that's so circumstantial. There's so many things that go into it. It's not just like if you're jumping good or bad. There's so many factors that go into the best jumps in ski jumping, and it's not just a matter of having a good jump, it's a matter of having good luck too. So it was just like not in the cards for them, this competition, but finally in the end they were able to have the right jumps at the right times. And yeah, you can see how happy everyone on the team is, whether they're on the podium or just teammates. It's pretty great to see.
That's amazing. And I mean, we do have to talk about Poland as well, and especially Kasper Tomasiak. I mean, that's amazing. I think he has never had an individual World Cup
Nope.
podium, and then he ends up on the podium at the Olympics with
Three
his team.
times, yeah.
That's 3 times. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was, I think that everyone always says the Olympics bring out special moments, and this was definitely one of them. Like, what a great place to have your best jumps of the season, right? Like, if that's the time to show up, the Olympics are absolutely the time to do this. And, to be able to also have Poland perform as a team, this was really amazing. They've had a difficult year, and to see them succeed together, I think, it's really, really great to see.
Yeah. What do you think is his key success to perform on like such a big stage but never actually be on a World Cup podium?
I think that maybe the not having expectations. It's hard to say, I don't know him personally, so oftentimes when you expect things in ski jumping, you get the opposite. So I think that he really came into the competition with the right mindset, and ski jumping is fun when you're in the right headspace. And I think he was just having a great time, and enjoying his Olympic debut to the limit.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. So, what is your resume about last night? Maybe to finish things up.
Yeah, it was pretty chaotic, but I think that that's always in a super team. Things move around a lot just because there are more rounds than usual, and you have the opportunity to see more small nations succeeding as well as big nations. And it's truly great to see so much diversity succeeding in the super team. And it's one of my personal favorite events on the women's side, and hopefully it can make its debut at the next Olympics. But I know from personal experience how much fun it is when your teammates who you see day in and day out, and you get to be on the podium with them. I mean, oftentimes you're on the podium with your teammate, but you're still competing against each other. But to like truly be on the same side and stand there next to them, it's just so special. And to do that at the Olympics is just incredible.
Yeah, and I mean, now that we're also talking about snowboarding and park and pipe, we do travel a lot together with our friends, with our competitors. Is that something you guys in ski jumping do as well? Like travel
Yeah.
together with your teammates and competitors?
I mean, teammates for sure. I think that ski jumping is also such like a tight knit community that everyone knows everyone, and it's just like it's fun to see everyone. Like when you've been gone a while, and like I went and I watched because my friends and my boyfriend was jumping, so I stood on the sidelines, and how many people came up and said like hello to me, and how like just like catching up. It's just so amazing how close the community is and how much we all love each other, and we're bonded through competition but also the love of our sport.
Absolutely. But what is more nerve-wracking for you? Like jumping yourself or watching your boyfriend jump?
Oh, watching 100%. It is a million times more stressful to watch him, or like even watching like my teammates compete. I was so nervous. Like, when you are competing, you're doing all the things that are going to help you win, but when you're watching someone, you're just hoping that they're going to do well, and there's nothing you can do to impact their results. You can show up and you can cheer for them, but beyond that, you can't do anything to help them succeed. You just have to let them handle it on their own.
Absolutely, especially as you mentioned before with all the, the weather and the conditions changing and yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
lot.
We had this on our team. My teammate had a little bit of bad luck, and the jumping was fine, but conditions were not in her favor. So it was a struggle. But at the end of the day, it's about showing up for them and cheering for them, even though you have no control of what's going to happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Alex, for taking time. That was really cool insights, especially also for me. And yeah, I hope your recovery will be nice and smooth, and you can come back on yeah, the hill very, very soon.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us. And from one Maple Leaf, actually, we have to go to another one because last night was Big Air Women's Free Ski Finals, and Megan Oldham made history by becoming the first Canadian free skier who won a medal in the Big Air event. So that is absolutely amazing. And I mean, Megan has a story with her fourth place 4 years ago at the Olympics. And she told me a couple of months ago, Melina, I'm going there and I'm going to win a medal. She actually won too. So she already has a bronze medal in slopestyle a couple of days ago. And now she came back, came out swinging, and got another gold medal. And we absolutely have to go. We have to dive a little bit into the competition because that was absolutely insane. We had Lara Wolf. She kind of grabbed for gold, and then she did a trick that she's the only girl who can do that, which is absolutely insane. It's a switched up bio 12. And then we had Flora Tabanelli, who came back from an ACL injury in November in like no time, and she came out swinging, got the bronze medal. And then in second place, we had Eileen Gu. She put everything on the line on her last hit, landed it absolutely beautiful. And then Megan Oldham, first place. And I mean, she landed her first two runs. So on her third run, she actually had a victory lap, but she still decided to step it up and tried a 14. Unfortunately, she couldn't land it, but she still got the gold medal. And I think that final had everything drama, and it was just it was a perfect event, and it showed the progression of women's free skiing like really, really well. So yeah, I mean that was pretty much about the final from last night, which was absolutely insane. And now I'm really happy to introduce to you our second guest. He is the only snowboard athlete in Park and Pipe who actually qualified for the Olympics in all three events, so slopestyle, big air, and halfpipe. He's from Switzerland, and his name is Jonas Hasler. Hi, Jonas.
Hello, how are you doing? Thanks for
I'm
having
good.
me here.
Thank you for taking time. Where are you joining us from?
Also from Lax, I just got back home from Italy today during the day, drove back home, and now back in Lax for a few days before heading to Aspen for the Snow League.
That's amazing. How was it was your first Olympics. How was this whole experience for you?
I think it was amazing. I got pretty lucky to spend a lot of time there while doing all three disciplines. So I got to experience everything. And I gotta say, I the bar for my first Olympic got like pretty high up. I heard people were telling me the last Olympics weren't that good. So I enjoyed it a lot. The food was amazing there. I gotta say that the whole facility where we stayed in the hotel, but also the facility where we can ride the slope course, the pipe, the bigger was amazing.
Yeah, speaking about the slope course, because obviously today the slopestyle finals of the women's was rescheduled to tomorrow. So tomorrow is a really big day because we do have snowboard slopestyle men and women one day, which is going to be a big, big day for snowboarding, I think. So, I mean, you've been riding that slope course in qualifications, and you did so well, but maybe you can like kind of take us through the whole course. So, yeah, maybe let's start from the top. So, when you drop into the course, what are the first features you have to ride on, and why is it like special at the Olympics?
So it starts off with if you look from the top on the left side, there's just a normal down rail. I think it's pretty easy. It's pretty steep though. I gotta say that. And then on the right side, we have a down flat down. It's really steep, and the down part nearly goes up again. So you have a lot of kink there, which is kind of what we have to look out so we don't catch an edge or something like that. Then on the second rail, it's kind of like one feature is like maybe two rails. So we have a first rail that goes into kind of like a wave. You have three different rails you can hit. I think it's one is a rainbow. The other one is kind of like a goes down and up like a kind of shootout rail.
Yeah.
And then we have a normal down rail, and then you have two different rails we can choose off going off the wave again. It's the one on all the way to the left side is really really long up flat down rail, which is kind of something special. We don't have that a lot in courses. And then we have a on the right side we have a flat gap into down rail, which is kind of like a tube. So I think most of the riders were hitting all the way to the right side. It's a bit more easier because the left rail is super super long. So that was kind of like the what we had to look out for. The rails are really long, really technical, which I personally really liked a lot. And then the last feature of the rails was a shootout rail all the way to the left side, a rainbow rail. Oh no, it's an elephant rail actually. It goes all up and then all the way down, which is also super long. And then on the right side, we have a normal flat rail or flat tube, which you can also like do like front flips or spins out of it, which I really like to do. And overall, I just have to say, I think the rail riding was really cool to do on those kind of rails. It was kind of like fast, but then you can also do like big tricks out of the shootout rails, which is something that I really enjoy doing. And then we have the three jumps, which are kind of more basic, but also really nice to ride. I really like the first one. It was super fun to ride. So yeah.
Yeah, I think we have a picture of the jumps as well. And I mean, if we look at the snowboard qualification with men, this is actually Dane Menzies on that picture, and Dane won qualification. So he's one of the young guys. I think it was a really interesting result because we did have the youngest athletes, but then also the ones that have the most experience, like Mark McMorris, Marcus Cleveland. And I think it's so interesting to see that, yeah, we do have the youngest ones, but also the oldest ones. So do you think this course is maybe good for the more experienced riders, maybe?
What I think is because you have in total your four rails, you have to be really, really consistent, which is something that is not like you, oh, let's just try out a new trick and hope it lands, because you have so many ways you can slip off a rail or just not put a clean run down. So, to be honest, I wouldn't say it's a just for older person or like older people who have more experience. I think if you have a lot of consistent riding, I think also the young guys can perform really well. Like I know Oliver Martin, he's like not even an adult, he's not even 18 yet, and he's got into the finals, which is also insane. So you can also have an Olympic champion, which is Red Gerard is also in the finals. You can also have that. So I think it's a bit of both you need.
Yeah, it's an amazing mixed field, which is going to be super exciting, I guess. And but we also have to talk about free ski finals tonight. So let's hope they can do that because it's still snowing pretty bad in Livigno. But have you been at the qualifications?
Yes, I saw the qualifications and I was just standing there with my mouth open because I was so shocked how incredible the level was. Like I saw people doing 19s and 18s and not getting into like the final or something like that, which for me I was just like blown away. So if they're gonna have a proper final tonight, I'm gonna be excited to watch. I'm gonna be, and I maybe gonna say it's gonna be the most highest level of skiing we can see in a bigger, because the bigger is also one of the best biggers I've rode personally. So
Yeah, that bigger venue looks absolutely insane. Also, I saw a video on your TikTok account where you showed the lift and the whole venue, and it looked pretty scary actually. But yeah,
I think like the first training was a bit scary, going up the little lift on the back, but because it's at night, you don't see much out of it, so you kind of like just standing there side by side, shoulder by shoulder, with like eight other peoples in there. It gets a bit scary, but you get used to it, and at some point you just put music in, turn it up, and then go up and get ready for your big tricks that you do.
talking about your TikTok account, I feel like you're blowing up at the moment because you, as you said before, you really enjoy the food, but especially from what I've heard, you do enjoy tiramisu, as we can see and hear. I think what happened there actually?
So that was after the whole resort kind of knew that I really liked tiramisu. They surprised me at, I think it was the day of the halfway qualification day. They surprised me by making my own kind of personal tiramisu and try it out. Like they said, it's the old way, traditional way of doing tiramisu, which I was blown away by that time. But yeah, I think the food was incredible anyway. We had like pizza or pasta the whole time. So the perfect Italian food mix to get ready for our competitions.
That sounds amazing. And I mean, if we look back 2 years ago, we did have the Muffin Man, and I feel like, are you the new Muffin Man now, or like the Tiramisu Man? I guess because
Yeah,
he seems to be ready to join the Winter Olympics now. He was a swimmer, and now he has his Nordic like the skis, ready for to because I think he wants some tiramisu as well.
yeah. He put a video, he sent me a video as well of him telling me he gave like the torch now to me, and I'm gonna represent as the tiramisu man. He was the muffin man, and he gave the torch to me to be the tiramisu man now. Was really cool to um, him reacting on that stuff. And then I think right now he's also in Milan, trying out the Olympic food they have. So it's pretty funny that he's still doing the funny stuff that I think all the people love to see about the Olympics.
That's amazing. Thank you, Jonas, for taking time and for joining us today. And yeah, so we still have a couple of events left at the Olympics. So, for example, tomorrow we still have the slalom, the women's slalom, and yeah, obviously Schifrin is going to compete again. And is she the favorite? Maybe, maybe not. And then we do have cross country team event as well, and maybe we have another gold for the Vikings. And I think it's going to be a really, really cool day. And as I said, obviously, we do have Park and Pipe. We do have a big final day for slopestyle, men and women. So you definitely have to tune in. And yeah, thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I've had a lot of fun, and I hope you did too. And I hope to see you guys tomorrow for our next show. Thank you guys for watching.